Well folks, tonight's project is to finally take the head off this BMW engine, which is the one that I took out of my car. And the problem is there are corrosion holes in that spark plug hole right inside there. You can see how nice and clean it is compared with all the other ones. It's been washed with high pressure coolant for a little while actually. Just slightly weeping out and cleaning it. So, what I have to do is take all these casings off, thermostat housing, inlet manifold and rocker cover, and then release the head studs. So yeah, bit of work, not too hard though. The thermostat housing is pretty straightforward, 3 nuts, 12mm socket. The inside of the head doesn't look too bad from here. There's no real lumpy bits of corrosion. A little bit there though. Oh yeah, don't forget to allocate a goods parts tub. I'm using surplus ammunition crates from Australian Defence Industries and little tubs. Also pays to screw nuts and things back on if you're going to reuse the part in question. The head's being stripped, so I'm not going to screw anything back onto it. The front of the engine is pretty straightforward. Take the rocker cover off. The distributor housing and rotor holder is held in by one cap screw. I think it's an 8mm key I used. And there. And the housing itself has 6, 8, I think it's 6mm bolts, 10mm spanner. Really easy. And that should come straight off when I remove this gasket and everything. Upper front covers off. That's a little cam chain temp tuner. Oil filled or hydraulic type I think. Cam chain guide seems to be intact and alright. I'm just going to take these bolts here out, which I've already loosened, and bring the sprocket out and just try and drop it down a bit. This head's got to be replaced and be fitted with a rebuilt head, so cam chain timing and everything is later on. I won't worry about it for now. I did find one of these banjo bolts on your finger tight instead of firm. So not loose enough to affect oil flow to the cam, which is still in pretty reasonable nick, but the banjo bolts are a common problem with these. They come loose and starve the cam of oil, but this one here is okay, thankfully. I never noticed any cam noise or problems. The inlet manifold is pretty straightforward. Just undo the nuts on each of the flanges and the big one down the bottom. That one there, and each of these nuts, and it'll come straight off. See each valve in there. Nice big inlet valves. Big ones. I hate the way they recirculate all this carbon and shit back into the system though. Bloody emissions control. Ruins these engines. Oh, I've almost got all the head bolts undone, but I'd have to say about 75% of them are that badly frozen in, it's going to be very hard to get them out again. And this one here is almost rock solid. I can barely break it free, even though it is actually loose. Some of them are really tight, some of them you can pull out by hand, but they're covered in real mucky crap, so I imagine coolant's gotten into the bolt holes. Very similar to the Jaguar engines. Yeah, that looks like coolant and oil. That's how I ended up to get this Jaguar engine. There's probably only about an 8% chance that that head will ever come off again. They get frozen in similar to this, except you've actually got nuts on top of through studs, so you can't just wind them out individually. And if you do try and wind them out individually, they tend to break off. That one there's perfect. That one there is frozen in. The threads are out of the block, but that's as far as I'll get that one before I drive it out with a drift from the other side. Well, this ought to do it for tonight. I'll let the head off the engine. The bores look really nice actually. I can see all the honing all the way down. There's no lip worn into them at all. A little bit of carbon marks where the ring above the rings, but you can still see all the honing in them. It's quite a healthy engine still, despite being a tow car, which is probably what killed it, unfortunately. But no, she's a healthy bottom end. All the bolt holes are good, even though the bolts were sticking, it's just gunk built up in them. The sleeves are still in place. I'll get new timing chain, guides, tensioner, a worked head, probably shaved it, solid copper head gasket or something. Might even redo the bottom end, new bearings and different pistons. We'll hot this engine up and drop it back into the car. But that's a very long term project, maybe a year or so. Head's not too bad, but just a shame that it's corroded through. The valves look alright, but they just match the head. The only thing I'm going to save is the cam, rockers and springs. The rest of it can be scrapped or kept as spare parts. I'll keep the valves as spares, use them for experiments and things. They're pretty reasonable. A lot of carbon and crap built up in it, but it's a high mile, hard worked engine. No real obvious signs of leakage, although probably come close in a few spots. Just down this end here, it looks like it might have leaked a little bit. Maybe when it got hot. It's been cooked once or twice before. If anything, that's a bit of a leakage point. Corrosion. Oh well. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll tear this head down another day. And I'll make a fake head for this. Fill the pots with grease and seal everything up and just store it as it is with a fake head on it. Wrap it up and store it the long term. Well, there's a good view of the cylinder honing still there. Pretty good considering what has happened to this car over the years. It's been used for towing caravans and horse floats and scrap trailers all its life, so it's not too bad. It's all there. No lip. Cam chain. Oh well, I'll still tear it apart and rebuild it. It's a pretty happy engine. Just the head's gone bad.